Cheevo, guys!
What up, guys? This is
Cheevo, guys!
back here again with another achievement guide. Today, we're going to be focusing on Johnny Rocket. This is an easy 1 to 2 hour completion or platinum trophy. If you're a noob at side-scrolling platforming games, it could take up to 3 hours. Ultimately, if you didn't die, the game is only about 20 minutes long. This game is published by Restless Corp, and it's developed by HEDE and KG Game Studio. Ultimately, what we have to do to get the full completion or platinum trophy is simply beat the game. Not only that, but we have one achievement related to beating the game on hardcore. If you were to beat the game outside of hardcore mode on the regular difficulty, you would get all of the achievements except for that one. Now, on top of this being a simple and fairly quick and easy completion or platinum trophy, it's only $4.99. If you're interested in picking it up, I'll have a link in the description below. Now, in terms of simplicity, it's ultimately pretty simple. All you have to do is beat the game. The only achievement, again, that you would miss is the one for hardcore. What you can do is you can get to the final boss battle, and once you're at the final boss battle, you can quit to the main menu and then turn on hardcore mode. So, I'm here to tell you, you do not actually have to beat the full game in hardcore, you just have to defeat the last boss in hardcore. I want to give a shout out to Clarion85 for giving me the heads up on this tip. Now, in effort to make this video guide quick and to the point, I edited out all of my deaths, so this is pretty much as quick as you can get the game done. I know it's only a 17-minute game, but more than likely you're going to spend at least an hour trying to beat this game. Personally, I actually really enjoyed the game. Believe me, I've played a lot of games for achievements that weren't necessarily fun. This one is fun, and it has, fairly easy and simple achievements, maybe except for beating the final boss on hardcore. Just because on hardcore mode, for those that are wondering the differences, on hardcore you can only get hit one time. If you get hit once, you die. So it's basically one-shot death, which is actually really hard in this game. Luckily, we're able to quit out once we get to the final boss battle and activate hardcore mode. Otherwise, this would be a much harder completion or platinum trophy. Now, I also want to point out that the achievement descriptions aren't necessarily descriptive. They don't really tell you what you have to do. All I can tell you is that I think most of the achievements are related to kills. Naturally, as you progress through the game, you're going to start getting these achievements as you rack up your kills. Pretty much all of the achievements are related to gaining kills and finishing levels. Other than that, we just need to defeat the last boss under hardcore. Luckily, he has a pretty easy pattern that once you know what you're doing, he's pretty easy to defeat. And again, I want to foreshadow, you cannot get hit by the last boss, so I am going to be including footage of all 3 boss battles just in case you guys are having any issues with any of the bosses. I found that on this first boss, you can kind of cheese him if you are like a perfect distance away from him, just not necessarily too close to where he's going to hit you, but just outside of his bubble where he kind of just stands there. You want to basically be at the tip of his sword, and you'll be able to defeat this boss easily. Without this little tip to defeat him, he's actually really hard to defeat. So if you're having any trouble, try this method. Eventually, you're going to shoot him enough times to defeat him. I also want to point out that you can hold down X to shoot. You don't necessarily need to keep pressing it. I kept pressing it most of my playthrough, and then I ended up realizing that you could just hold it down. So there we go, we completed our first level. That's level 1 complete, and now we are going to be moving on to level 2. Again, we have 3 boss battles in this game. I'll make sure to leave timestamps in the pinned comment below or in the description for each boss battle. Other than that, guys, I think I'm going to go ahead and cut the commentary here. There's no reason to narrate the full game. Just make sure that once you get to the final boss battle against Hitler, don't want to make any spoilers, we'll just call him Hitler, you need to quit to the main menu and turn on hardcore mode. At that point, you will need to defeat that final boss without getting hit at all. If you have any issues, make sure you refer to my footage of the boss battle. That way you can go ahead and defeat him a lot easier. Just make sure to be patient and you will eventually get it. Once you defeat him on hardcore, you will unlock the last achievement related to completing the full game on hardcore, but we kind of cheesed it. Other than that, guys, as always, I appreciate you tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment and don't forget to like and subscribe.
Did you hear what happened on the mainland? They say that this Johnny Rocket is just a beast.
Hands on your rocket, you're never real. Let's try a skill.
Johnny the Rocket.
Hands on your rocket, you're never real. Let's try a skill.
That is freaking hilarious, man. Alright guys, I decided to jump back in the commentary. More than likely you guys are watching this part because you guys are trying to get the achievement for completing the game on hardcore. So what you want to do is head back to the main menu, make sure that you turn on hardcore mode, and at this point what we have to do is defeat this boss without getting hit at all. Now I do want to foreshadow that the UFO's beam does not actually damage you. I thought it did. I don't think that you get damaged by the UFO unless you actually touch the saucer itself. So don't be intimidated by the light rays. I had a lot of trouble defeating this boss because I was trying to dodge them the whole time. So yeah, you'll have either 1 or 2 UFOs appear randomly. Just try to shoot them when you can. Eventually they will fly off of the screen. Now in terms of Hitler himself, he only has 2 different attack variations. He either shoots below the top platform or above the top platform. So in instances where he's shooting below the top platform, you can go ahead and stay below the top platform. but in instances where he shoots below the top platform, you can go ahead and jump on top of it in effort to avoid his bullets. Now, while you're dodging all of these bullets and saucers, what we need to do is shoot the wheel below Hitler. Every time you shoot the arrow, it spins the wheel. So sometimes you have to shoot a little higher, sometimes you have to shoot a little lower. Typically, when I was doing this, I was jumping up and down below the top platform. What you're going to do is spin the wheel. Once it spins a full 360, it will shoot and damage Hitler. That is the only way to deal damage to Hitler. So make sure that you do that a couple times and then eventually you will defeat him. So basically we are rinse and repeating this method until we have spun the wheel enough times to defeat him. So let's go ahead and break down this boss battle real quick. So basically he has two attacks. He's either going to shoot above or below the top platform. Depending on where he's shooting, you either want to be above or below it, opposite of where he's shooting. In the meantime, you want to try to shoot the saucers. Just keep in mind that their beams do not hurt you. While doing all of this, you need to make sure to spin that wheel. Once you spin it a full 360, it does damage. You're going to rinse and repeat that until he is defeated. Now keep in mind, while doing all of this, assuming you're playing on a hardcore mode, you cannot even take one hit of damage. If you get hit by even one bullet or touch one of the saucers, you will die and you will have to start the boss battle over again. Luckily, the game has pretty forgiving checkpoints, and we have a checkpoint right before the boss battle. Once you defeat the boss, on hardcore, you're going to get the hardcore achievement worth 200 gamer score. On top of that, you should get the achievement for just beating the game, which is right here. I actually did it in 2 separate playthroughs. Good old evil. I had originally completed the game on the normal difficulty, and then again, Clarion85 gave me a heads up that I do not have to complete the full game on hardcore, only the last boss battle. Other than that, guys, as always, I appreciate you tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment, and don't forget to like and subscribe.